pod knock. How does that work?
Like AirPod in, you're on the phone call with your buddy out there knocking doors. We would do that.
So like you're on the phone with them, on the AirPod while you're going door to door.
Yeah.
So that way they're listening into your pitch. Are they knocking at the same time?
Totally.
Like
we'd just be out there knocking on the phone. If I'm pitching someone, I just kind of turn it down. But I don't know, kind of help us hold each other accountable.
How long did these calls last for?
Dude, all day. We'd just go out there, just sit on the phone all day, just knocking. I'd hear him getting deals. I'd hear him missing deals. You know, if I'm out there getting a deal, I just turn it down so I can lock in. But
that's fascinating. I've actually never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody out to the D2D podcast with the Golden Door Deep Dive segment, where I, your host Roz, pick the brains of the Golden Door winners of this past year. See what it is that makes them tick. See what it was that took them to win. So we got a really special episode of the podcast today with Mr. Brannock Gill. What's different about Brannock is this is his first year selling. He is a rookie pest control rep that hit Golden Door. So congratulations on your big accomplishment. Golden Door, man. First year. How old are you?
So I'm 21. I'll be 22 in December.
Yeah. Sheesh, dude. Yep. Young buck, coming out the gates hot. Let's dive right into your story. What got you in the industry?
Yeah.
How did you get Golden Door year one? What did that take?
So I guess how I got started, I had a buddy, Carter, went to high school with, kind of how it usually starts, I guess.
Yeah, it's always that one friend.
Yeah, so they'd kind of talked about it a couple times. I remember like the summer before, one of my other buddies brought it up, and I told him like, straight up like, no, dude, like we're not doing that. Like that's so dumb. Why would you do door to door? I just didn't know anything about it. It seemed really kind of scammy to me. So I told him no, and then this next year, his neighbor was Cutler Webster, who did like 1,000 accounts at Hawks. And he kind of recruited us just because of like the money. Like, he kind of showed us that it was real, so we couldn't really deny it. And at that point, it was like, yeah, if I could really go out and make, 30, 50 grand in the summer, why wouldn't I try that? So it was like, I'm only 21, I might as well try it out. So I went out, signed with Hawks, ended up switching to the Grit though, after like 3 days there. Then ended up on Brock Greive's team. And
shout out, Brock.
Yeah,
I love you.
That's your answer. How I ended up getting the Golden Door. I think it all starts from the front, Amazing office. Like all the guys out there work super hard. Just the culture over there was amazing, especially when you're being led by a guy like that. Like I came in with no training, just to have him train me every day, like 2 hours a day, was amazing.
Yeah, Brock is very sharp. He's very trained. That's one thing I very much respect about him. So big shout out to Brock and that team. So yeah, kind of diving into that. So you had that mentorship with Brock. You had that good connection, that strong leadership. What would you say, what went into getting a Golden Door? Was that the goal from the get-go, or at what point did you decide that you were going to go do it?
No, when I came out for Hawks, they told me, like an average rookie will do like around 125, 150K. So I was like, cool. Well, I don't want to be like an average rookie, right? So I want to do like 200K. I was like, that'd be sick. If I could do 200K, I'd probably make like, 50, 75 grand. Like that'd be incredible. That was my goal, especially like coming out. I was planning on being out for 3 months. So then I went out to the Grit. When I got there, I started selling. I pretty quickly realized I could probably do 400K. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dude, if I could max out the pay scale at the Grit, do 400K, like that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
So then I was like, that's my new goal. Like I can definitely do 400K. So I adjusted. That was my goal from then on out. I knew if I did like 25K a week, I could get there.
Yeah.
And then, so I had this calendar. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram, but I had a calendar that I would mark every day, like how many accounts, how much revenue did I get? And so every week I would add it up, and I started doing like 30K weeks. And I was like, well, dude, if I can do 30K a week. I was talking to some of the other guys out there, like Colton Remond, Nathan Gonzalez, like Nate Van Dyke. They're all dogs.
Yeah.
So
we had Nate on the podcast. Big shout out.
Van Dyke. Yeah.
Love him.
Ripper, dude. Ripped all summer. And all these guys, they were all, talking about Golden Door. And they're like, dude, you're selling, like you could Golden Door. especially I had a car ride out with Nathan Gonzalez one day out to area. And I just remember him telling me, like, dude, you could totally golden door. Like, the only reason you wouldn't do that is if you tell yourself that you're just going to do 400K. Like, don't believe that. Believe that you'll golden door. So then from then on, I just started looking at it differently. I wrote on my calendar, big old golden door season, all caps. Started looking like if I could do 35K, then I can golden door.
Yeah.
And then at that point, that was in like March.
Okay, cool. When did you officially start the season?
So I started in mid-April at the Grit.
Okay.
Mid-April. So I sold 2 weeks in April, bageled like 9 days out of the 15 or something. And
oh, shoot.
Yeah. Slow start.
So slow start.
A lot of bagel days on that April calendar. A lot of 0 days. Yeah.
Wow.
And,
okay. I love that.
Yeah.
You go from a 9-day bagel streak to winning a golden door as a rookie.
Yeah.
So guys, especially those that are like first year reps listening to this, or they just finished a hard year. One thing, powerful takeaway that I'm getting right now is a lot of guys will reevaluate their goals early, and they will renegotiate it and make it less. So, Brannock here has a goal of 200,000 in revenue, and what does he do? He renegotiates his goal to shoot higher, and that's awesome, dude. To shoot higher for that, when a lot of guys are like, oh, like 200K, that's a little unreasonable.
Yeah.
I'll do more like 100K.
Yeah.
Or I'll do like something less than what I know I'm capable of. So I love that you rewrote the program and you were like, no, I'm gonna do even better. So talk to me about those first 9 days bageling.
Yeah, well, so it wasn't even my first 9 days that I like bageled consistently. I think so. My first full day that I went out, I got a deal.
Okay.
Got a deal the next day. Both of them canceled. It was like no same days, booked them out till the next day. It was like 2 wives or something that I signed up. Canceled the next day before they got service, right? So I was super bummed out. I was like pretty down on myself. And then the next like 3 days, I don't think I sold any because of that. So then I was like 5 days at 0 technically, right? And then I think I sold another couple, both canceled. It was like my first 5 accounts that I sold, none of them got serviced. It was kind of just bringing me down to the point where I wasn't selling other accounts. So I was just letting it affect me negatively. And then I remember I told Brock about it after like my first week of not selling anything, and he showed me some of his accounts, like scrolled down, and his like first 6 accounts or something on the summer it all canceled. He was like, dude, same thing, like doesn't bother me. Then he started scrolling, and he had already sold like 60 after that. So they're all active, and I'm just like, holy crap, man. Like I'm just in my head for no reason. After that, I just went out, started selling better, kind of figured it out a little bit. And I had a couple bagel days like here and there throughout the summer, but after that, pretty much figured it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
And guys, cancels happen. Anyone that is a top performer can attest that it's just a part of the job.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't take that personally. And especially like the guys that are selling the most probably have the most cancels.
Yeah.
Because they're selling at such a high number. So you kind of get out of your head with that. Talk to me more about developing that kind of mindset to go for that, because obviously, you looked at your goal, you renegotiated to do better, you believed in yourself. What was really the thing that made it so that you could have that kind of mindset? Yeah,
I would say, kind of like said at the beginning, just the leadership. Like when you got out there, all the examples. I think when I went out with Hawks, I didn't know a lot of the guys out there, and I didn't have a big team when I went out there. Now, granted, I was there for like 3 days, right? Mm-hmm. I think I was there before everyone got out. So I didn't really have much to go off of there, much of an experience. When I came out for the Grit, everything was just dialed. Like all these guys were already out there, Colton, Brock, Nathan, like they were already out there selling at a high level. And they just brought us into their culture, started training us every day, showing us the ropes. And it was almost like that just seemed normal.
Yeah.
We were the only rookies out there at the time. So I just came out with myself, Jack Fischetti, my roommate, sold 400K this summer. Number 5 rookie at the Grit. And then my other friend, Cash Wright, who came out with me as well, stayed out till late October with me to finish at 150K, hit his goal in the summer, both grinders. And it was just us and all these veterans where we didn't even really know there was any other way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was our first summer. Like, we didn't know about sitting on the curb during the day or just skipping to go golfing or leaving at 5 p.m. on Saturday. Like, we were always just knocking till 9:30 p.m. every night because that's just how it was. That's what Brock was doing.
Yeah.
So that's just what we did, you know?
The culture, it's the standard.
And that's what everyone's doing. That's just what you do. And so when it becomes normal, just perform at a high level.
I love that.
Yeah.
And guys, if you're listening to this, if you're on a small team, if you're out there on your own, and we've talked to this and we've had guys on the podcast that have talked about this too. Rise to the occasion, become that leader, become the rising tide raises all ships. If you can create that culture and be very intentional about that, where the standard is very like non-negotiable, then you see massive results in these organizations. And that's really that's the secret sauce of culture. And I think that's absolutely incredible. So remind me where you were this last summer then.
Yeah. So I went out to Louisville. Louisville.
That's right. Yeah. Nate was there.
Yep.
I remember him talking about that.
Yep. So
and
you got
Brock.
Nate Van Dyke. Yeah. Dogs. So we were out there, got there in April. I was there till end of September.
Okay.
And then I went to Dallas, Texas for October to finish. So I actually finished my Golden Door on, I think, 27th of October.
So not that long ago.
6.5 months. Yeah. I just got back like a week ago. And
not that long ago.
It's November, but I've been home for a week. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
It was a grind. My last 2 weeks, had a couple weeks off coming home for like GPS, big grit.
Yeah.
Progress series conference that we do. And then transferring markets to Dallas. So last 2 months was a slow grind to kind of get it done. But at that point, I was like already committed. I knew I wasn't going to go back. So I just stayed out, finished. It was late, but got it done.
That's amazing. Yeah. Most guys will, call it quits at the end of August and be like, oh, well, I'll hit it next year. So I love that determination to stay out until the end of that, guys. That is the epitome of determination there and grit. I love that. So Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, imagine you would get punched in the face if you knocked the door and told them Louisville. So
yeah, totally.
What was the market like for you?
I mean, for me, it was great. I didn't really know the difference, though. I mean, like I said.
Yeah, this is your first area. You can't really can't it to anything else because you never knocked doors before.
Yeah, everything to me was just normal. I mean, I did 3 days out on Hawks. I didn't even have an iPad. I was out in Florida, just kind of walking around on my phone. No training yet. I was just kind of out there trying to figure it out. 3 days bageled, of course. Right? Didn't get it. So coming out to Louisville, it was great. I would say it was a good market. After I went down to Dallas, that was kind of the only thing I have to compare it to.
Yeah.
I would say I preferred Louisville, but every market has wins and losses, I guess, advantages. So
absolutely, yeah. What was probably the most difficult thing for you to learn?
Most difficult thing for me to learn would probably just be like the discipline every day of just grinding in and out, constantly trying to stay super positive and having that self-belief, like the confidence every day.
Gotcha.
And all these people are telling you no. So it was the first hard thing I'd ever really done up until that point. Never gone to like college or a mission or played high school sports or any of that,
Okay.
Anything super hard before. This was like the first really hard thing I'd done.
Interesting. And how did you learn that?
I think, it all just goes back to the culture. The guys that I was with, we kind of just expected it out of each other. And like I said, shout out my roommate, Jack Shetty. Every day, like in the morning, we'd wake up, listen to some audio recordings before we went out, just listen to the top guys getting sales. That's my favorite way to train. Every day, you just listen to exactly what they're saying while they're selling people. Then you go out and sell people. Then you get home, listen to more voice memos, just talk about the day, how it went, eat some dinner, go to bed. Same thing every day. Just holding each other accountable, like, hey, dude, how was your day? Good. we had pod knock all the time, like listening to each other on the AirPods. It's like, hey, dude, you should work on this. You should do this better. Or, hey, what are you doing? I haven't heard you knock a door in 15 minutes, you know?
Pod knock. How does that work?
Like AirPod in, you're on the phone call with your buddy out there knocking doors. We would do that.
So like you're on the phone with them, on the AirPod while you're going door to door.
Yeah.
So that way they're listening into your pitch. Are they knocking at the same time?
Totally.
Like,
we'd just be out there knocking on the phone. If I'm pitching someone, I just kind of turn it down. But I don't know, kind of help us hold each other accountable.
How long did these calls last for?
Dude, all day. We'd just go out there, just sit on the phone all day, just knocking. I'd hear him getting deals. I'd hear him missing deals. You know, if I'm out there getting a deal, I just turn it down so I can lock in. But
that's fascinating. I've actually never heard of that before.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah, guys listening to this, give that a try. Let's get that dialed in. I'd love to see some fruits of that.
Give it a shot, man.
Yeah, that's really cool because that also keeps you very accountable.
Exactly, yeah. As long as it's not something that's distracting you, as long as it's not a negative thing, you can really hold each other accountable. You're out there knocking all day, and I mean, dude, he sold $400K. I mean, I got to hear how he's pitching people every day. Gets to hear how I'm pitching people every day. Mm-hmm. We're working off of each other. There's a lot of things that I think I took from his pitch, and he probably took a lot of things from my pitch, which made each other better. So
that's amazing. So, okay, we have a couple of factors here that I'm seeing as far as like your training, as far as you learning how to do the job, you know, the strategy behind it. So it's like, first you got yourself a good mentor.
Yeah.
That is regularly trained you and coached you. You had a roommate that kept you accountable and that you guys kind of built each other up and created good synergy. And then third is like that immersion of greatness.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like constantly listening to the top guys' sales, listening to their pitches. I imagine you heard, you know, the greats like Seeger and Brock and those guys.
Absolutely. I have a file on my phone that has like 67 different voice memos from like Parker Anderton, Skylar Griffin, Zach Seeger, Brock, Corbin Hansen, like everyone, all the top guys. And you just listen to them. And there's different things I would take from every single one of their pitches. I just listened to all of them. And maybe I have 5 pitches from all these different guys. Each one of their pitches, they all have one thing that they're really good at that I would take from them. Mm-hmm. So I'd even catch myself like just saying a line that I took from Corbin Hansen. Mm-hmm. I just heard Corbin Hansen tell someone that, and I'll just repeat it on every door because it works. So I just take it from him and it would work.
I love that because it's picking and choosing what kind of resonates with you.
Yeah.
So that way it comes off as more authentic.
Totally.
Because if we say word for word what Zach Seeger says on the door, that might not come across as like our true selves, and people might see that and feel that and not trust that. But if we take the biggest things that resonate with us from Seeger's pitch, if we take the biggest thing that Corbin says from his pitch, like exactly what you said, then we can craft our own little baby that comes off as very authentic, very true to us, and people listen to that.
And it's not even always the things they say. When you just hear the way they pitch, like you go out and you're pitching a door, and then you listen to Zach Seeger pitch, and you realize like, yeah, man, I'm just fire hosing these people, right? Like I'm just rehearsing a pitch to them basically versus, then you listen to these top guys, they're just so chill. They're so confident. They're just out there talking to people. Or like Corbin Hansen, you listen to him pitch and you're like, dude is 17. He has so much self-confidence and ownership in the company.
Yeah.
People have no idea. He could be 27. They have no idea. And so just that confidence that you take from the top guys.
Absolutely. And really that's like the best way to train.
Yeah.
In my opinion, is learn from people that are doing what you want to do. It's silly to me to not do it like that.
Yeah.
Because one, if you try to reinvent the wheel on your own, you're going to get lost.
Yeah.
And two, only take advice from people that you want to be like. Or that if you wouldn't trade places with them, don't take their advice. That was always like something you see in offices. You always see like the bottom rep that, and I've even been this guy before. where it's just like, you know, you got the worst guy in the office that's doing the most preaching. Yeah. It's like, oh, we should say this, and like it needs to be like this, and it's like, okay, well, is that working for you?
Yeah, that's fair. And I definitely think that every day we just had the top, like we were just being trained by Brock. Mm-hmm. Every day he was giving us sauce, man. Just every day. I mean, if you want to learn if you want to learn how to sell a golden door, there's very few guys that are going to be better at teaching you than Brock Greive.
Yeah.
Very few guys.
Love Brock, down to earth man. Very, very skilled at selling.
And not just that, but like the rest of my support system. I mean, my girlfriend came out with me. Shout out. We've been dating for like 5.5 years. Ooh. She quit her job, drove across the country with me to come out with me this summer. Total faith in me. She's always been my number one supporter. Like, having her there with me every day was huge. Mm-hmm. Just every day, the accountability kind of she came out here with me, like, now I have to perform. Yeah. Do my best. Really show her that, you know, she made a good decision. Putting her faith in me, coming out here, that's a big thing to do. And my family, I mean, they've always been winners. My dad, my role model, he's a huge winner. So just going out there and knowing that I have people that I can't let down. Yeah. That was a big motivator for me.
That's powerful, man. And yeah, big shout out to your girl for doing that. That's a very difficult thing.
Yeah.
Big sacrifice. And I mean, even from the standpoint of just like the day to day in that, you know, hanging out alone or I don't know, it gets very lonely.
Oh yeah.
For everyone.
Incredible. I wouldn't. So, if you asked me to quit my job and move to Louisville, Kentucky, sit in an apartment for like 6.5 months, all alone by myself, no friends out there, I don't know if I would be able to do that. I mean, that's a hard thing. It's a big sacrifice to make. So
absolutely,
I'm incredibly grateful for that as well.
Yeah. So having a good support system is very, very crucial here. Yeah. What was the most difficult objection for you?
Most difficult objection on the doors?
Yeah.
For me? Man. You know, at first I remember just getting at the beginning of the summer, I was just so frustrated with like the spouse objection. I mean, that kind of stands out in my mind. Like, yeah, calling Brock and just being like, dude, I need help. Like, I can't get past the spouse objection. And then I think just towards the end of the summer, I just realized that all of the objections are the same. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't even trust any of these people that I talk to on the doors, you know? Like, I'll sell these people.
You have to reframe your brain like that.
It's a joke,
because if you believe everything they say, you're not going to sell crap.
It's sell or be sold 100%. Like, I knocked these doors. Like, I remember this lady towards the end of the summer comes out. Oh, I'm on the phone with my daughter. Can't talk right now. Yeah, whatever. Pitch her real quick. Get into the yard. I close her. Ends up being an absolute laydown. She's like saying she's looking for someone. She has black widows. And then I told her I'm sorry for interrupting her phone call. She's like, oh no. It was just my daughter. We were just having fun. It wasn't actually a work call. Like, she just was acting like she's on a work call. And it's like, these people are just making stuff up, man. She wanted it. She wanted it bad. She was still lying to me.
Dude, they lie. They want it and they lie to you. You know why? Because you're just you're a door-to-door rep.
Yeah.
They have a wall. They have a natural 100%. Wall that comes up. No, everyone hates to be sold.
100%.
People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. Yeah.
And the amount of times, I mean, people will tell you like, hey man, I'm in sales. You're not going to sell me, or I'm super busy. Everything people say, man, I just don't believe them. It's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah. It's funny the level of like cynicism you develop when you sell, because everything people tell you, because I come from like my natural tendency is just to believe people and just to trust them and like, you know, look for the best in them, which isn't a bad approach to life, but in selling you cannot have that approach or else it is very difficult. Because everyone's always going to have something that they're in the middle of. Everyone's always going to have like, oh, I got to talk to my spouse about this. Everyone's always like, no one's going to have time for you. You got to force that.
Yeah. And it just came down to also just realizing like, dude, these husbands, they do not need to talk to their wife about pest control. Like, that's just not true. Or these people, yes, they can afford it. They do not need to research the company. They're not going to call you. They're not going to think about it when they leave anyway. Like, everything they're telling you is all just BS anyway. So if you're believing it, you already lost, basically.
Yeah.
And it almost is like I would just learn to treat every objection the same. Where you still want to be like agile, right? You still want to be like athletic. You can't just get locked into saying the same thing on every door, but you can't actually believe what they're telling you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say once I learned that, I didn't really have any huge objections, any huge issues with one certain objection, I would say.
I love that. I love that. Appreciate that answer. And speaking to kind of like the money and the value of the product, it's so funny because in my experience, and this has also been something that I've talked about on the podcast before, I sold Vivint systems. I remember, just going out and selling. When I first started, I was dead broke. So like in my mind, I'm like, ooh, like, $75 to $100 a month for this. Like that might be a little expensive.
Yeah.
Guys, a homeowner they got cash to burn. Like that's nothing to them. People piss that money away.
Oh yeah. And the other realization, the big realization is you'll find someone that signed up a month ago. You ask them what company they're using and how much they're paying. They won't even know. They don't know how much they're paying. They don't even know what the company does. Sometimes they'll slightly remember. It's like, dude, this isn't a big deal to these people. They're just acting like it's a big deal because they don't trust you. They don't know you. You're just some random person that showed up at their door. So if you can get them to actually trust you, want to listen to you, none of that actually matters. You're not going to be that concerned about the pricing. As long as the way that you're presenting it, you believe in the product and the pricing that you're presenting, dude, they're going to buy it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because especially if you can present the solution in a way that resonates with them.
Absolutely.
There's one thing I've truly learned from the podcast. The key to building value is problem solving.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how long is your sales process? How long does it typically take for you to close the deal?
For me, mine is honestly pretty long.
Okay.
One thing that
You're fairly thorough?
Yeah. One thing I almost feel like something that would hold me back was I overthink it too much. Sometimes it was good. I was able to capture those really high contracts where I would build the value pretty high. Sometimes it was bad where you almost talk yourself out of the deal. I'd say an average deal for me was probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
Which for a pest control sale, I mean, a lot of these guys like Brock close them quick, right?
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't that quick, but got it done, I guess.
Yeah. At what point did you know when to close?
I would say the biggest thing that helped me sell this summer was just not leaving people. So I would just close everyone, really. Even if they weren't hot at all, I would just close them and get in the ring. Just stay as long as I possibly could. And at some point, like there's certain people where you can almost get them hot just by staying in the ring and just by being so persistent. They'll almost at one point give in, start to listen to you. Especially if you can stay personal, right? Keep it light.
Yeah.
Friendly conversation, make them laugh a little bit. They're not interested, but maybe they start to like you. And then maybe throw them a few aces. And then maybe they're like, start thinking about it a little bit. Wait, what'd you say about that? Sometimes you can get them, man. So I would just stay in the ring with everybody, fight everyone as long as I possibly could.
That's amazing. And what's cool is like a lot of guys give up after like the first close.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, oh, like I don't really know what to say. Like I kind of like unloaded all the bullets in my chamber before the close. But what's crazy is like I really truly believe that our jobs as salesmen, it begins the moment we ask the first closing question.
Absolutely.
And before that, we're kind of just presenters. We're order takers a little bit. So, but that's kind of the beautiful thing of it is when you hit the first objection, when you hit the first pushback after the first close, that's when, you're doing your job. That is why we get paid what we get paid, because we roll up our sleeves and we say, all right, now it's time to get in the mud. Now it's time to get in the ring.
Absolutely.
And fight. So what's your, what would you say? Because you come from, this is the first time you've ever done sales. So was that really uncomfortable for you at first? Like being with people and persisting and re-looping and all of that?
I would honestly say it was never super uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
I've always kind of been able to have that where I can just almost kind of flip off the switch, just kind of become socially unaware of these people where I really don't care. I'm never going to see any of these people again. I'm out here in Kentucky, 1,600 miles away from home for the summer. I'm literally never going to see these people again. They're not even going to remember me when they go inside. So I almost just don't care, where it's like, dude, you can tell me no 16 times. When I leave, you're still going to forget me. And when I go to that next door, I have to restart this whole process of trying to get into someone else's backyard and closing them 16 times again. So it's just not worth it. Like at this point, I'm already this far into my process that I'm just going to stay and just try as hard as I possibly can, if that makes sense.
100%. And the thing is, there are two people that you really owe that to. You owe it to yourself to stay, especially you owe it to the customer to stay.
Totally.
Because why would they give you the time of day like that if they're not going to buy it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
They're asking you to close them.
Yeah.
They just need a good enough, one, they need a good enough reason. Two, they need that emotionalization of that problem being solved. Yeah. And three, they just need to trust, they need to get that trust.
Right. Yeah.
And feel that you care.
Yeah, totally. And that's one big thing I remember Brock teaching us during the summer as well, was he would say, like, you're a nuisance to these people if you don't teach them something, get them to buy, right? If you knock, they come out pissed off. Hey man, I'm on a work call, get out of here. And you just, okay, sorry man, I'm out of here. You get punted and you're off the door. Now you're just a nuisance. And they're going back inside like, I just had to get up off my work call to go punt this guy off my doorstep. Versus if you can get them to actually listen to you a little bit, even if say they don't buy. You get into the backyard, you get like 8 racks deep. You get to minimums with them, they don't buy, but you make them laugh a little bit, get to know them a little bit, and then you leave. They're still happier. You provided at least a little bit of value to that person.
100%.
Right? Versus if you were to just walk away. So I think understanding that gave me the confidence to not just walk away from these people, where it's like their first reaction and the way that they're coming out of the door, they're going to be aggressive. Of course, man, you're like the 8th guy to come through that month. And they don't even know you. They don't want to listen to you, right? But if you can provide a little bit of value, I think it makes it worth it to them.
Okay, I absolutely love this mindset shift here. Guys, for those listening, but this is especially important, like in all aspects of our lives, especially in sales and on the doors. We are a nuisance to them if we do not close them. We are a nuisance to them if we are walking away. If we walk away too quickly, because we made them get up, we made them do these things. We didn't add any value to them whatsoever. We literally were just annoying. And having that mindset, because too many guys knock the door. Hey, sorry to bug you. Oh, I'm on a work call. Get out of here. Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah,
walk away. That was obnoxious to them.
Totally.
Like,
sorry, man, I'll come back later. No, don't come back later, right? And that's what you always get. So it's like, no, man, just stay and at least try your best on every door. Try to provide some kind of value. Brock would always say, like, don't be Aptive's Wikipedia page, right? You don't want to just go around being the Wikipedia page. Like, try to provide some value to these people. Same thing when you say, how do you know when to close them? Or when you say, like, it actually starts when you get that first no. So you got to save up all this ammo so that after you get the no, you can actually get scrappy and get the deal. Because that's when you provide the value. The whole time, you can frame the pitch as much as you want and try to imply that they're going to buy today. But until you ask them to buy that first time, it doesn't really click in their brain that that's why you're there.
Yeah.
So they're prepared to tell you no. You're going to get the no right away anyway. So just be prepared to take it on the chin, get in the ring, get scrappy, right?
Yeah, prepare for those no's.
Yeah.
Be empowered by those no's.
Totally.
Because with each no is one closer to a yes.
Absolutely.
And it's different for everyone. Some people, they're going to whip out like 7, 8, 9, 10 no's before they say yes.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just going to be 2 or 3. You kind of, you'd never really know unless you try, unless you do it, unless you're there. So, I think these are very powerful principles, especially for those that are brand new, because I feel like the rookie mindset is like, I'm bothering people. I shouldn't be doing, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be that guy, that I don't want to be the pushy salesman. I don't want to be the sleazy guy. Here's the thing. It's like, we're not pushy, we're passionate.
Yeah.
And people see that.
Oh, totally.
And people understand that. If you're a dick, that's different.
Yeah.
Obviously. Then people don't trust you and don't like you. And that is something you need to change and work on. But if you're passionate and passionately persistent,
yeah,
that's unlocking new opportunities.
That's a huge concept that I understood this summer, that I learned, was when you're just walking around all day, you're not getting any deals, you feel like you don't want to be pushy, so you're just walking away and people tell you no. Mm-hmm. You're just walking around looking like a sorry loser. Mm-hmm. Like, you look sorry. Every door you knock, people can tell that you look sorry, and you're getting punted all day. Mm-hmm. So they're just going to punt you. Versus if you actually walk around and you have that confidence and you have that swagger, like, you're just going to do way better throughout the whole day.
Absolutely. So that being said, on days you do feel like you're getting your butt kicked, on days you do feel like you're getting punted around, how do you shift back into that mindset, that positive one?
I don't know. It's tough, man. It's definitely tough. I think you just got to be able to reset, and I would just tell myself out loud on every door. The biggest thing for me was I would just take a deep breath, roll my shoulders back, like laugh out loud. Just make yourself laugh out loud. Make yourself feel better, right? Because there's things you can do to make yourself feel better. Just tell yourself, this is a good product. I'm a good salesman. Like, I've sold this many accounts this summer already. I know I'm good at this. I just need to go and show these people. Or, dude, say you haven't. Like, you just started, you haven't sold anything. Okay, well, nobody knows that, right? That's the other thing Brock would always tell us. These people that open the door, they have no idea if it's Brock Greive standing at their door or if it's some rookie who's never sold an account in their life. They have no idea. Yeah. Your body language is what's telling them.
Ooh.
Right?
Nugget.
So, yeah, if you show up and you have that confidence, the head, shoulders, knees, and toes, that's what we would say. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right?
Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose.
Yeah, every door. Then, dude, they're going to believe it because they don't know any better. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's that very, very powerful principle there. Funny fact about, making yourself laugh too. Did you know that the brain actually doesn't perceive a fake laugh and a real laugh any differently?
Interesting.
So if you fake laugh, then you'll release the same chemicals as if you actually laugh.
Interesting.
So
it works, man.
Yeah. So a guy I knew, he would always start his pitch in some sort of laughter. And just kind of a fun little hack. But it's always tricky getting those, turning those days that are rooted in trial and turn them into triumph. But, I love what you said about, how everyone that answers the door, they don't know. Like, if it was you and Zach Seeger standing there, they're not going to really know.
Right.
They're not going to care about Zach Seeger's accomplishment. They don't know he's like $1.5 million in revenue. They don't know you're like $650K in revenue. And until, like you said, your body language shows them.
Yeah.
And the words you say and how you say it shows them.
Yeah.
So now speak to me about, because staying out an extra 2 months in order to accomplish your goal, that's something that would probably be very daunting for people, especially when they're brand new.
Oh, yeah.
What made you feel resilient enough to stay and do that?
I'll be honest, man, it was super tough for me personally. The last couple months of it, finishing it out was super tough for me. After the Rumble, so August. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's when everyone's going home.
Yeah, that's like 2 months before you were officially done too.
Yeah, so
that's half of people's summers.
Yeah.
2 months.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It really did feel like, I sold pretty much 6.5 months this summer. Really 6 months on the doors. And that's almost 2 summers, what a lot of people do. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. When everyone was going home, you definitely feel it. You want to be home really bad, missing family, my dogs, my car, home, everything, right? But it was just at that point where I was already committed. I was this close. After want to say right before the Rumble started, so mid-August was when I hit 400K.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty far away. But I just knew that I could do it, so I had to. Because if I was capable, I had to do it. Brock would always say, you know, being good is the enemy of great, is what he would say. Good is the enemy of great. So I knew once I hit like 400K, man, I had a really good summer, that I would hate to have a really good summer and go home, because I know I could have a great summer. So once I realized that, It was just being able to stay out and then having that support around me, where Jack was still out there with me and my girlfriend, Cash, all the people that I came out with were still there. And so having them around me, that made it a lot easier. What made it tough was just the last month when everyone was gone.
Wow. Everyone
went home. My girlfriend, my friends, everyone was at home. So I was out in Dallas for the last month finishing up, and that was the hardest for sure. But it was just like I'd already made the commitment to everyone. Like I went home for GPS. We had our whole organization there, right? There's like 150 guys.
Yeah.
And
being with the boys again, there's such like a element of like, we're finished, we're done. Totally. Everyone else is done.
Totally. And they had like the Golden Door retreat. And so it was during GPS. So I went, there was like 37 guys there.
And you'd still not hit it yet.
Yeah. It took us all out. So I'm hanging out with like Corbin Hansen, actually all these guys that I've been looking up to all summer, right? And I'm just there with all of them being celebrated like I've already done it. And it was like, at this point, I have to do it, right? Like, there's no way I'm not going to do it. So.
You can't celebrate the accomplishment without accomplishing it.
These are the shoes they bought me so it was like they locked me in, right? At that point, I had to do it.
That's amazing. Dude, so much respect, man.
Thanks, man.
Really, like, that takes a lot to, go back out and finish the goal, especially when everyone else is gone.
Oh yeah.
Like when everyone else has gone home, and that I you said good is the enemy of great. Like that is literally what defines great, is doing what everyone else is not willing to do.
Yeah. Thanks.
So
man.
That's absolutely that's inspiring, especially hearing that from a rookie who had, you'd made more money than you'd ever made in your whole life.
Yeah.
You'd had more accomplishments than you ever had. You probably made the best friends you'd ever made in your life. You had every reason to go home and not finish.
Yeah, it's fair. It's true. The other thing is like, I just can't really speak enough to like the people that you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. And even the people that like I hadn't met, just the other guys, I just met them once. Like you go to the Golden Door, you meet some of these guys or you're talking to them, like Gavin Atkinson. He's still out there late, grinding to get it done. He's sending messages every day into the group chat, texting me personally, like, dude, you got this. Dude, you're so good at your job. Dude, you're almost there. Like,
love that.
Just all these guys that you're around, everyone wants to see you win and succeed. Mm-hmm. So it's to the point where I've always been a person that draws a lot of energy from the people I surround myself with. Mm-hmm. And so when I was out there by myself, that was really hard for me. So I had to learn to draw energy from all the people that were supporting me from home, right? Like all these people sending me messages every day. I'm out there. I mean, Zach Rose, he just finished, yesterday?
Yeah.
Last Golden Door for the Grit, number 37. So shout out. November 7th.
In November. Yeah. Quarter of the way through November.
In November. So I'm out there feeling bad for myself. And it's like, dude, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Right? Zach is still out there and he's like 20K behind me and he's out there getting it done. So how can I complain? Gavin's at the same. He's still out there getting it done. So I can't be the guy that just goes home, right? Like I'm going to stay out here and get it done.
It's amazing. So, and now you being a first year rep, this is going to be, and first Golden Door, this is your first D2D con.
Yeah.
So what are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, I don't even know what to look forward to. I don't know what it's going to be like, but obviously I'm super excited to be up on stage with all the guys.
Yeah.
I remember midsummer, they sent out a big announcement into the chat, picture of all the guys last year on stage, and just said like, anyone who's out there that's, trying to hit the Golden Door, just picture yourself on stage with all these guys every summer. And I screenshotted it. I put it as my lock screen for like a month and just pictured myself every day, like being up on stage. And I just thought that was so cool. Like looking at it, I was like, These are all the guys that I've been looking up to and listening to every day. Like I listen to these guys sell people every single morning so that I can be better. So just imagining being on stage with them, it was like, that'd be amazing. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And dude, I think it's going to, because, you're talking about surrounding yourself with greatness, surrounding yourself with people that make you want to be better.
Yeah.
I feel like D2D-Con is going to be a great place for that for you, especially in the sense of like just getting outside the bubble.
Yeah.
We love our companies, we love our culture and everything, but it's amazing to get to know other guys like in solar, in alarms, in roofing. They're so different, but they're all so similar too.
Yeah.
So it'll be really cool for you to get to meet those guys as well and network with them and pick their brains. And it's amazing to like take off the jersey and all just be in one tribe.
Yeah.
So
special.
I'm very excited for you to get to experience that, get to feel that, get to be on stage, especially where that, where you were constantly visualizing that for so long, it's finally coming to fruition. So big shout out. So dude, before we end the podcast, do you have any shout outs and call outs or any specific call outs? Who needs to hit Golden Door next year?
Jack Fischetti, man. That's
Jack
number
Fischetti.
one in my mind. Of course.
Jack Fischetti.
That's my dog. I mean, seriously, we pushed each other all summer. And I know that he's capable of selling at an even more elite level. Like, dude, he sold 400K. Like, that's amazing. But, dude, he could Golden Door for sure. So, next year, for sure, that's my number one call out, Jack Fischetti.
Anyone that sells $400,000 of revenue in pest control, without question, without doubt, can do a Golden Door.
Oh, yeah. And same thing, dude. Like, he signed 2 weeks before the summer, came out, no training, nothing, came out with me. So,
well, Jack, we're excited to have you on stage next year with Brannock. So
if I get one more, it's going to be Colton Riemann.
Love it.
He's due. So
he's
Colton,
due.
If you're watching this, Golden Door.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any parting words for the industry?
I don't know. I'm just excited to get into the industry more, meet everybody, learn about it. I mean, like I said, I didn't know anything about door-to-door coming in. So everything I've learned about door-to-door has been during the summer or since being home in the past week. So excited to go to door-to-door con, really dive into it more, meet everyone, because everyone I've met so far, I mean, super impactful, credible people. So
absolutely. Well, guys, this has been a great episode of the Golden Door Deep Dive podcast. Keep tuning in. We got a lot of these to go through before we get to D2D-Con, but this has been absolutely incredible. I hope especially first-year reps or people, if they're planning on going out or if they just finished their first year, or even like some of you old salty dogs, you old vets that haven't hit Golden Door yet, take these lessons to heart. It's been absolutely powerful, Brannock, so thank you for coming in, man.
You bet, man.
Awesome. We'll see you guys.
Appreciate it.